Hello, everybody. It's that time of the week. Not counting last week. That was not the right time of the week. This is the right time of the week. This is the moment where I say hello to everybody and cover what I can remember, because my mind right now is like a bucket full of holes. everything just goes straight through. I can't keep track. So much is happening so fast I can't keep track enough, and no way, no how. I've been so busy that I wanted to do a thing for the Gumroad people, and I literally had no time for it. So I got I literally got Burger Kings. I was traveling through a place that had Burger King, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do a review of the Impossible Whopper, the vegetarian Whopper alternative, just because of the seared bite meme, which is my favorite of the nonsense from You Laugh, You Lose on 4chan. So if you can stand eating sounds, you were able to listen to everything I'm about to explain this stream a little bit early. But for everybody else, which I assume is the majority of people who didn't want to listen to me eat two hamburgers, one hamburger and one burger that kind of tastes like a bean burger. This is, you're going to be getting the same information pretty much as everybody else. Right now, actually, I had the good sense of mind to mute this before I went live, but someone just tried to DDoS the Kiwi Farms. But yet, if I go to kiwifarms.net right now, it is up. Imagine that, chat. Imagine that. You know what? How should I approach this? I did not. This is one of those days where it's just like, fuck it. I'm not going to take any notes. I'm just going to talk. So I'm trying to think about how I could move this. Can I see? I have my Firefox up. My Firefox has some content on it that we'll go through. I'm debating if I should talk about Kiwi Farm stuff first, or, you know, I'll go through the Kiwi Farm stuff first. I think everybody who deserves to hear this live is already hearing it live. So everybody else can just eat shit, I guess. Actually, no. Let's wait a bit. Give people a bit of time. I don't want to be that mean. Can Firefox work? Firefox want to work? There we go. Okay, perfect. That's right. Okay, so we're gonna do some filler content, and then I'll talk about Kiwi Farm stuff, which is what most people want to listen to, I imagine. So interestingly, the the Dylan guy, he's a really like effeminate gay man, and he just decided this year, I'm gonna do a thing on TikTok. And I've never watched like a TikTok video on TikTok. I can assume that everybody who's on TikTok is mentally ill, a child, or a pedophile, which I guess falls under the category of mental illness, but I want to kind of make that its own thing. Falling into multiple categories is Dylan Mulvaney, who is not technically a woman. He still goes by Dylan. I don't know if Dylan is supposed to be like a gender neutral name now. But I think I played a video of him last time I streamed, where he was like doing a clapback on this girl who's making fun of him relentlessly, saying like, I'm famous, and I'm like going to movies and stuff, and I'm just like so important, like doing all my important stuff. He got featured in Forbes Women, which is really funny. At this point, I'm assuming that the media is just trying to see, like, is there a level that we can push women? Can we just like can we just like ritualistically humiliate womankind and see if they actually ever do anything about it, or are they just want to let us get away with it forever? So Dylan, who is just a dude, he's literally just a dude who puts on makeup and stuff and does a daily thing where he's like, this is day 180 of me being a woman. Today I'm gonna douche my butthole for anal sex, because gay sex, you have shit on your dick, so I'm gonna try to get all the shit out of my asshole so I can take it like a woman, and that's like a woman does. And then they're like, oh my god, that's so brave. We want to broadcast this to every child on TikTok and feature you in Forbes Women. So this is what he was bragging about, by the way. This was really big to him.
From Kick Foosball Tables. And this Western maple craftsman style pool
I'm
table
I'm surprised Price is Right is even a thing.
A deluxe accessory kit is included, made in the USA by Golden West Billiards.
Did you know that Price is Right is owned by Coca-Cola in part?
Basketball game from Papa Shot features
Price is Right used to
accurate scoring. Accessories are included.
used to be owned by Coca-Cola. They had their own media venture at some point.
$52.
Show him.
So we already told you the price of the prize.
Oh my God, there he
You
is.
know the price of some groceries.
He's so famous.
Shopping
Sometimes.
sometimes. Well, the guy Chris right there.
Oh wait, this is
in the shield over there. He's the game.
this was him in January 2021. That's funny. So this is before he transitioned.
George Gray.
This is what he's bragging about now. He's really stepped his career up. He was a contestant on The Price is Right, and now this is filmed. I'm pretty sure Price is Right is filmed out of L.A. So when he's in New York now because he wants to be on Broadway, but he was from L.A. and I knew it. I knew the first time I saw him talk. This motherfucker is from Los Angeles. Only a person from Los Angeles could be so soulless. Anyways. That's it. I just want to make fun of this guy some more because he's really gross, and he's one of those people that's like really contemptible. People find it very easy to hate him, so he's become like a talking point. Also, the national circus has picked up on the fake tits tranny teacher in Canada for whatever reason. They're protesting the school now, right? So all these people are pissed off that there's this fucking weirdo teaching at the school. And then when you read the response from the school, they basically say like, we can't do anything about it. It's the law. So they're out there protesting the weirdo tranny teacher at the school, but it's like you're protesting the school who legally can't do anything about this guy. So why are you not protesting your government? You know what I mean? PPP went to the protest. That's pretty funny. I'm tempted to make a mean joke. He went there to put the teacher to shame. He's like, check him out, bitch. I own you. And these are real, motherfucker. These are not some prosthetic strap on. Oh jeez, I have to mute my I downloaded XMPP, so I don't have notifications muted. That's how the cool kids talk when everything is collapsing these days. Anyways, B-Jams. This, by the way, this is his voice. The titty lady.
Over into the work plane.
Titty dude. He has like.
And one of the first things that you can learn with Tinkercad is that you can take a look at different views of your object. So this is the view cube. So if we hit top view, we can take a look at the top.
You know who else has a degree in CAD? Chris Chan. Chris Chan had a degree in computer-aided graphic design. Just a weird coincidence. He's showing you how to make cones. He's like, now you can 3D print these gigantic cones, and you can strap them to your face or to your chest, and then you can scare the fuck out of everybody. Oh, he didn't graduate. It was a 2-year degree. He spent like 5 years, I want to say, trying to get it, and then he dropped out, or he got kicked out rather, by that evil bitch, Mary Lee Walsh, who was just trying to obstruct his love quest. That's why he got expelled. If he had gone ahead, he could have gotten a career as a teacher, as a tomboy teacher. Then also in trans stuff, this is just a collection of trans stuff that I have. God, I meant to get some stuff from Ralph. I'll talk about that too. I'll pull it up, and then I'll collect my thoughts. I found this post, and then it's very funny. Killer Kukri says, she won't stop nutting in our towels. Just what the title says, my 31 non-binary is Killer Kukri. Spouse, 35, trans woman, has a habit of masturbating anytime I leave the house, and rather than finish literally anywhere else, opts to finish in our towels. And I love how you can read this and you instantly know, okay, this author is a woman and her husband is the tranny. He says, I am so, or she says rather, I am so sick of it. It's so disgusting and gross. I've asked her multiple times to stop doing it and offered alternatives, but she doesn't care. Her current defense is that she only does it in dirty towels. But dirty or not, if they're not washed right away, some have ended up with big bleached out spots, which is funny to me because I have always thought that cum smells like chlorine, and I guess it does have bleach in it, which is strange. I don't know what the fuck the purpose of that is. How does your body make bleach and then shoot bleach and not like sterilize yourself? That's the body is strange, chat. Not to mention, it's me that does the laundry, so I'm peeling these crusty little love deposits apart. If it's not a bath towel, she'll use a hand towel and hide it. I have found them under our bed, under our couch. Every time I'm so appalled by it, and every time she's embarrassed and offended, I would call her out. I'm now at a loss of how I am to get my spouse to stop trying to impregnate the towels. And what's really funny about this, by the way, is that I pulled up this guy's account, this woman's account. I went to post and I'm going to do my new. This is a historical catalog of this woman's adventures on Reddit. You ready? They post on 3 subs, just no, and then mother-in-law, family, and SO. So these are like rant subreddits about mother-in-laws, family, and significant others. 3 years ago, she says, mother-in-law has moved in next to us. Then she says, my mother won't accept my mother, so not my mother-in-law. My mother won't accept my apology for making her feel unwanted at my daughter's party. Then back to just no mother-in-law. How my mother-in-law nearly made me lose my daughter. So they have a kid, the cum sock person, and this non-binary fella has a child. And then back to just no mother-in-law. Unsure about North Carolina after... Oh, no contact. Unsure about no contact after mother-in-law arrested. And then that was a year ago. And now 2 days ago, she's back to just no significant other to complain. She just won't stop nutting in her towel. This woman has been driven insane by the circumstances of her life. The no contact one is really interesting, by the way. The mother-in-law is really insane. Threatened somebody with a knife, got arrested, and so she and her husband made a no contact rule with the sorry, I get distracted. With the mother-in-law, but then the mother-in-law went missing because they got arrested, and now the spouse that can't stop coming in towels is on the hunt, even though they have a no contact thing. And she's stressed about that. Really interesting stuff. Sucks to be her, I guess. This was a response to the nutting in the towels question. Eating Ganesha with 23 upvotes says, I would buy a pack of towels in a color not used in the bathroom, and then I would buy a diaper genie so he can dispose of her nutted towels into the bin so that it wouldn't smell. I would then also put my foot down and tell her she's going to use her own nutted laundry from now on, and any use of the household towels for that task will result in all the towels except hers being locked away. There's no shame in calling out this disgusting behavior. Trans doesn't matter here. This is hygiene and respecting your partner 101. My partner is also a trans woman and is such a pig that we recently bought a duplex so I would never have to pick up after her again. I stay on my floor, she stays on hers. I can often smell her gross kitchen and moldy laundry in the hallway we share. That is amazing. How do you know that trans women aren't women? No woman lives like this. At least when they're married. unless they have a histrionic personality disorder, I guess. Imagine having enough disposable income you can just buy a duplex so you never have to see your significant other again. Oh, and this is a little bit of a teaser, I guess. There is a person who runs a Twitter account called Drop Kiwi Farms, and they have like no followers, no traction. They tweet 100,000 times a day. And for whatever reason, despite my protest, in the Telegram chat, I've told the fucking retards in the Telegram chat, which is under Anime Avatar Fatwa, nobody should give this guy attention because he's obviously an impotent attention whore. But yet they screen cap and have like one-on-one conversations with this fucking retard constantly, despite my wishes, because they just want attention. Now this person claims to be completely anonymous, but it's 100% this guy called Sincere. They're almost 50 and they are on HRT. And that's not even the worst thing about them. Sincere is famous as like a locale because they have 17,000 hours in Fallout 76. Who plays Fallout 76, you ask yourself, when the game was released? This person. This is who plays Fallout 76 for 17,000 hours. And then they get bored. I can't remember why they stopped playing it. But they then start up a Twitter account to start bitching about the Kiwi Farms. Because I guess they are upset that they got bullied on it for playing Fallout 76 for that long. I'm going to drop Kiwi Farms. And that's it. The only other thing that's happening right now, kind of like, that I'm paying attention to at least. Oh no, my site's dead again. Might just be a bad node though. Let's see, can I resurrect it? The way that it works is that the site has a bunch of different forward nodes and then some middle nodes. And then the actual back end. So because what the guy is doing right now, because right now I'm streaming and he knows that, so that's why he's DDoS attacking right now, because otherwise I would just fix it. But he sends a network level attack against the front ends one at a time, and then he also does a layer 7 against the Tor, so the middle nodes lock up. The back end is doing just fine, but the middle nodes and the front ends are choking because they're being hit with two different kinds of attacks. Yeah, that's just a lot of HTTP. Because what I would like to do is play a clip of Nick Fuentes. You know what, I'm gonna be sneaky here. I'm gonna try to open Tor and see if the Tor node actually works. Because I'm vaguely familiar that or vaguely aware that the Tor node likes to work when the main site doesn't, but he is using Tor to hammer it. Let's see. If not, that's fine. I'll just talk about I'll use that as an excuse to segue into the Kiwi Farm stuff, and then I'll save the Ralph stuff for later if I can manage to get it. All right, now I suppose I will just talk about the Kiwi Farm stuff. So last week I did not stream. I was busy. I was doing stuff. I could not have a nice sit down to talk to you guys as I enjoy doing. So I instead I did very little with the forum. I should explain that before. Actually, I had my stream with Jim, and then the next day, I think it might have been 2 days later. It was on Sunday, I'm pretty sure. Everyone's avatar on the Kiwi Farm starts changing to the Post logo, and I'm confused about this, and my first idea is, let me check and see if I can actually verify the avatar is changing, because there's so many moving parts now. I thought maybe they compromised or found some way to fuck with the image cache so that they could just make everybody's avatar look like the Post logo. So then I go up and I pull up the image out of the server, and sure enough, the avatars are actually changing. So I know that whatever they're doing is actually instructing the server to make a change, which is a more serious compromise than fucking with the mid-level image caches. So I from there I start looking at the logs, and then as I'm doing that, I notice that the forum actually starts getting deleted. One node after the other, they start getting deleted. So I say that is definitely somebody in the admin control panel deleting the nodes. The site has been compromised, probably session hijacking, because that's usually what it is. And I shut down the site. The next day, or throughout that day and into the next day, I start looking at what it could be. And my initial assumption was that one of the forward nodes had been compromised because vsys.host, which is a Ukrainian service, had announced that they had a compromise the day before. And I thought, oh, what they probably did was they got access to that forward node and they found a way to man in the middle it and extract session tokens. So when I coincidentally connected through that node, my session token was intercepted. And that would be pretty bad because it would mean that passwords could also be exposed. Basically, any information could be intercepted. That was my initial assumption, and that's why I told people initially to assume that the password had been stolen, because as far as I was aware, that could be the truth. That was not the case. The truth is a little bit simpler. What happened is that on Zen4.0, there is no kind of media validation. So you can take a HTML file, a web document, and you can rename it .mp3, or in this case, .opus. And the server will accept this and think it's an Opus file and allow you to attach it as a audio file. And this is, in and of itself, a pretty big security risk. But it's not the payload injection. They needed something else for that. So in the chat, there was a bug where someone could insert an iframe and reference a script. And they had to do it like this because the way that the chat worked is that it would only accept scripts on the same domain name or ones that had a token attached to them. So they couldn't just inject a script and have that run because unsafe inline wasn't allowed. They had to find some way to upload a script to the site so that the iframe could then be executed, bypassing security rules. So that's why they had to upload it as an Opus file using Zen4.0. And then they used the iframe in the chat to actually run it. And this did a couple things. It first of all, it sent your session token to the attacker, and the attacker could then use that as a cookie on their browser to log in to your account. It then automatically sent a request to the avatar page to change your avatar to the post logo. If you were an admin, it also sent your admin token and then a copy of the PHP info, which is a printout of server information that PHP creates on a certain page in Zen4.0 in the admin panel. From there, he was able to log in, because I opened chat, he was able to log in through my account, and then I tracked what he did in the server logs, and what he tried to do was go to the user page to download all the user information. However, he tried to download every record at once, and that caused it to just break, and he did not manage, as far as I'm aware, he did not manage to get a copy of the user list. He also tried to download information from the add-ons page, and I don't think he got any useful information from that. And then when he, I don't know what happened. I don't know why he decided to delete nodes, because that tipped me off that the admin panel was compromised. I shut down the site because I knew what was going on. And while it was a very, especially because of the timing, it was very serious. And it was very, even if nothing leaks, it had the potential to cause a big leak. And that's upsetting, and I'm not happy with that, obviously. It could have been worse, because the day after, I had my family emergency. If it had happened at a different time, if it had happened during that week, I would not have been able to respond at all. It would have taken me hours and hours to respond, as opposed to me actively investigating it while things were actually going on. So as far as that went, it happened about as well as it could have for us. So I'm thankful for that. And it's annoying because it's like a juvenile mistake. There were so many different ways that I could have prevented that. And I've really gone overboard now. I've gone through Zenforo and I've tried to clean it up as best I can. I've configured the web server to be as, God fucking damn it, to be as aggressive as I can possibly get it, so that there is no further risk with cross-session scripting. I'm going to have someone review that eventually, probably soon. So that is the issue with the hack. So when the hack happened, I shut it down. And then while I was investigating, I got my call. I went out to deal with my issue, and I just left the server down. I let it to cool off. I let it to see where the chips fell, to see where everything landed. And then after a week, I took the weekend off too. I could have started bringing things up on the weekend, but I decided against it. I did some minor work. I was reformatting everything, so all the servers, just as a precaution, and kind of tinkering with my config, and I started bringing them up. So Monday, I was busy setting everything up, and then on Tuesday, I was able to bring the site up. Tuesday went pretty well. Wednesday and Thursday went pretty well, but now there is the DDoS attack again, and I'm dealing with that. The main issue is not network attacks. The main issue is application layer attacks. So we have a open source thing right now that we're working on. Someone in particular, I don't know if he wants a shout out or whatever, is working on it. And it's working pretty good. There are some issues with it that can, I don't want to say right now because it would be a pain in the ass. It's not like security issues. It's just like effectiveness issues. But there are ways to deal with it, and that's just going to get done over time. Right now, what they're doing, like the attacks are just like stupid. It's just bashing your head against the wall. Extremely juvenile, unsophisticated, easily mitigated. It's just a matter of having enough computer to mitigate it. And you don't need much, I don't think, because what they're doing right now is not so effective. So I'm working on that. There's more computer I can throw at it very easily. And when I have time, that's what I'll do. When I say application layer attack, that's DDoS attacks. In computer tech terminology, there are layers to a program. Layer 1 is the physical hardware. So a layer 1 attack would be me taking a hammer to my computers. That's a layer 1 attack. Layer 3 and 4 are network level. So when somebody is sending in a flood of bandwidth to a server, that is a network or level attack, a 3 or 4 attack. And then in a layer 7 or application layer attack, it's designed to, it's kind of like, the attack is designed so that it's low bandwidth but high impact. So for instance, when you request a web page, the server has to spend a great deal of time not a great deal of time ideally, but a amount of time, even if it's only milliseconds, but that's much more time than it takes for you to make a request. It takes nanoseconds for you to send a request. So you can send 100 requests, every 100 milliseconds easily, and then it's probably going to take more than that amount of time for your web server to respond to those requests. Just because even if it's a very efficient application, if it doesn't have any kind of scrutiny in regards to what request it serves, it's vulnerable to being overloaded by simply asking too many times. So an application level filter is one that provides some sanity to how you handle requests. And right now, the application level filter is doing a very good job in making sure that the web server itself is not impacted by any fictitious requests. And that's why you get the little bot page. It's open source, so it's going to be a game of cat and mouse, unfortunately, depending on how dedicated they are. But any effort spent breaking this is pretty much dedicated towards hurting the Kiwi farms alone. And I don't think that the people against us are particularly intelligent, so they're at a disadvantage by default. And over time, I can just, I can dedicate more resources to it. I can build proper servers. I can get something like a set of server. Like, all it takes to handle this is a little bit of CPU, and more importantly, threads over processing power. So you can get a CPU that has 64 threads at a low clock rate, like 2.1 gigahertz, for very little. And then you can get 3 of these. You can fit 3 of these into a single, 1 unit rack in your data center. So it's very space compartmentalized. And then all they do is they apply a very, quick set of rules to each request to see if they're valid, and then discard the ones that aren't. If it comes down to that, I'll do that. I'll build my own everything. I don't give a fuck. I'm so tired of being told by bullshit faggot companies that I can't do things. And it's like, I absolutely can. What you're doing is not like is not impossible for ordinary people to replace. It's just difficult. It just requires effort. And the more localized a solution is, the more impractical it is to defeat it. When you have something like reCAPTCHA or Cloudflare, there's a lot of money in being able to defeat reCAPTCHA and Cloudflare because everybody uses them. If you find a way to break reCAPTCHA or break Cloudflare, you actually have something you can sell to the black market for a ton of money. If you spend, a bunch of hours breaking the Kiwi Farms DDoS mitigation service, who the fuck is going to buy that? The people who would want to bring me down are like insane trannies, you know what I mean? There's not as big a market for that kind of mitigation bypass. So it's the serious black hats who are in it for the money, who are the people you should be afraid of, the people who are going to ransom your computers, are not going to be interested in bypassing something like that. So I think that's the roundup. As far as like the technical stuff goes, the site was hacked. I don't know if anything. I have yet to see any verifiable information that anything has come out from it. When we're not under DDoS attack, the site works very well. The issue with the DDoS attack is mostly lateral. It's a matter of getting enough computers, enough bandwidth, and enough mid-level mitigation so that the attack is not as effective as it would like to be. And then also, one more thing that I've set up. When I was hosting on the .st, kiwifarms.st, I was using a DNS. And if you don't know, a DNS is a way of resolving a domain name server. And the way that DNS works is very complicated. It's a bunch of different layers owned by different companies. But basically, when you type in kiwifarms.net, that means nothing to your computer. Your computer doesn't know what the fuck that means. It knows what an IP is, but it doesn't know how to turn a domain name into an IP address. So there's levels to it. Your computer asks your own personal DNS what that means, and usually that's provided by your ISP. It can often be Google or Cloudflare's 1.1.1.1, or Google's 8.8.8.8, but usually it's your ISPs or it's your VPNs. So that server actually doesn't know where the Kiwi Farms is either. To resolve that, they look in a zone. So .net is owned by a company called VeriSign, and VeriSign keeps track of another kind of a record called an NS record. So when your domain name server wants to figure out where kiwifarms.net is, it asks VeriSign what the registrar is and where the NS records are. And then that provides the name servers and IPs of that record, and then that your domain server takes the NS servers for the domain and then asks those servers where that record is located, and then that the DNS servers that your domain is pointed at will return the A record. Sounds very complicated, but in general, your DNS is managed by another company, because who the fuck would want to run something like that? That sounds like hell. Cloud DNS was one that I use for .st because it's very useful for this exact purpose. What I'm doing is not actually that unique. There are a lot of companies, a lot of websites out there that are resilient to takedowns because they are pirate websites. So when you go to pirate a movie, or you go to look at some, what's the other bit? Oh, the porn sites that pirate like OnlyFans content. when you go to go pirate, OnlyFans content, those sites are hounded with abuse complaints constantly. They're very resilient to complaints because of how much bullshit they get for hosting OnlyFans shit. So, what they use is very similar. They have a domain name server and they usually use Cloud DNS. That's how I got referred. I think the Pirate Bay used them. So what you do is you have 20 front ends and you plug them all into Cloud DNS and you tell it, I want you to do a health check on each of these every minute and set a time limit so that when you make a request, you usually keep that response. Like, what's kiwifarms.net? It's this IP. You keep that response for a TTL, time to live. Usually 5 minutes, but it can be up to an hour, up to a day, depending on how confident the source is that record will be unchanging. Cloud DNS does the opposite and says set it for 60 seconds. We have no confidence that this record will be alive at any given time, and we want to set it for as little as possible. And we want to do a health check on each of those. So every minute it does a ping. If it gets a pong back, then it keeps the record up and serves it out. And if it doesn't, then it drops the record. So this is how you keep a bunch of front ends that are being attacked by DDoS attacks and complaints, and they're getting service yanked and yada, 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 all this shit. That's how you keep it nice and snappy for the end user. It's very important. Cloud DNS dropped us. The trannies complained to Cloud DNS. And then what's really funny, what's hysterical about this is that when Cloud DNS dropped us, they hijacked our name server records and redirected it to a parking page, because that's what everyone does. They take our DNS and they point it to some bullshit that advertises their fucking garbage. However, Cloud DNS's hosting is actually provided by something called like Imprivio or Hosterion. And when KiwiFarms.st was just pointing towards the Cloud DNS parking page, the trannies still complained to Hosterion saying that they were providing a parking page for KiwiFarms.st, and they made Cloud DNS take down our parking page because they didn't want the heat from that. That's nuts to me. Because I got pinged. I was like, who is Hosterion? Do you use them? Because they're talking to the trannies on Twitter. I'm like, I've never even heard of Hosterion. What the fuck do I use them for? Are they like a parent company to one of the VPS providers? No, they were Cloud DNS's parking page provider, which is hysterical. So after that, I said, okay, Epic's domain name, Epic is our domain registrar. Epic has its own name servers. However, Epic does not have the really fast time to live records with the health checks and stuff. I told them that would be a great thing to add to their service. They may agree with and add that later, but for right now they don't have it and I need it. So I've set up my own domain name servers, and I'm going to have to fortify those as well. And the really funny thing about how domain name servers work is that they're very, very small. So I can rent a $5 VPS in a million different places and have 20 different name server records and shit these out, basically, as fast as I want, and just have them scale horizontally as much as I want. So I'm looking at that. The issue is that right now the rotation doesn't work as I want. I'm using Power DNS, and for whatever reason the if URL up Lua script thing does not work. I don't know if I'm using it wrong. I don't know what the fuck the issue is. However, that is where I'm stuck at currently, and I'm hoping to get that resolved because it was with Cloud DNS, it was actually working really fucking great, and I would love to get that operating as it was before. And I think that's it. Does the class have any questions for me regarding the bullshit hoops that I've been jumping through the last 2 weeks? We're not talking about the website nerd. How's Fedora been for you? I've been on Windows. I've been on Windows because I didn't feel like I had to deal with a bunch of shit. I didn't feel like importing all my settings and stuff, so I just switched back to Windows. I found a nice console thing with tabs on it. What will my DNS be called? Oh God, when I start offering all these different services, I'll have to brand them and stuff. I might as well at this point. Let's see. Keep it up, Jerish. Will this be on the test? Absolutely, it will be. How are you still saying? I'm having fun. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I know a lot of people are like, "Aren't you stressed out?" And it's like, yeah, it's a little bit stressful, and sometimes I get anxious about stuff. But like, you just deal with shit. You just deal with shit, and I enjoy the game, and I like setting up. I really, if I had to pick a job, I would just want to set up servers all the time. I like deploying stuff. I like playing with new computers. I like trying out. Right now, I'm using FreeBSD on a lot of my servers, and it's like, well, I'm setting up 10 servers a day. I might as well try out FreeBSD, and I'm having a lot of fun with FreeBSD. FreeBSD is great. I'll probably use that for more stuff in the future. I've had some experience with it, and I'm trying it again, and I like it. It's all a learning experience, and I genuinely enjoy it. I genuinely enjoy playing with computers. I have fun, and I don't let what people say get to me. I just don't care. And I remember when I first started hosting the forum, I was really afraid of people finding my picture, because I thought, like, I never wanted to be one of those people that had their pictures floating around and getting photoshopped and stuff. And then it happened, and people photoshop you into horrible things, and you're just like, oh, I was afraid of literally nothing. This does not fucking matter at all. I just, and I think that has to do with a lot with like the Blockland stuff, like because people said terrible things about me, as a teenager, and a lot of it was true, and a lot of it wasn't, and you just kind of build up a tolerance to it. It's like the people who I like and who I need in my life, trust me, they know who I am and they like me, and the people that I don't need in my life believe whatever bullshit they want, and it doesn't bother me. It's only frustrating when it's like a service provider or something. Then it's like, I'll just replace you. Cloudflare wasn't offering anything unique. It was the most available, easiest to get set up. But it's like, it's at the end of the day, it's just a fucking web page that checks if it's human traffic. It's a complicated, open-ended question, but it's not this mystical, unattainable thing. It can be replicated, maybe not as well for its purpose of serving 80% of all websites on the internet, but it can be replicated to some extent. Let's get them banned from FreeBSD. Oh jeez. Speaking of, while I was setting up the Kiwi Farms, and thank you for reminding me of that, I had an issue. Right now I'm still having networking issues, and a lot of my computers are stuck behind IPv6. So I need shit to work with IPv6. If it doesn't work with IPv6, it's a bigger pain in my ass. Thankfully, IPv6 came out 10 years ago. IPv4s have been completely depleted worldwide for like 5 years now. We are out of IPv4 addresses. There are a finite number, and when the IPv4 standard came out in the 80s, 90s, a long time ago, they were very willy-nilly about delegating subnets. So when you look at an IP string, you have 4 sets of numbers between 0 and 255. Many of those IP addresses are special purpose. It's like the number 10, the first number 10. That's called a /8. That is 1/255th of, or 256th of all IPs that exist is special purpose local network. 192.168 is a 16 special purpose local network. 000, I'm pretty sure everything that starts with the 0 is special purpose. I think 255 is also special purpose. So that's like 256 of the entire IPv4 range, special purpose. And then the Department of Defense asked for IP addresses, and they gave them like more than an 8. They gave them like a multiple 8. So then like a huge chunk of the internet just got patricianed to the Department of Defense, and they don't even fucking use them. Their IPs are like completely internal. They don't use them at all for public facing purposes, and they're just gone. So we've known for a while that we are running out of IPs, which is why in 2012 they released the IPv6 standard. And for a lot of countries, like in APNIC, they told Japan at a very early point, you will get no more IPv4 addresses. You're one of the richest countries in the world. You're one of the most technologically developed in the world. You have no fucking excuse. Get your people using IPv6 now. We're not giving you anymore. So they said fine. So now if you go to Japan, 100% chance that no matter what computer you're on, if it's a desktop computer or a mobile phone, it will be an IPv6 range, of which there are like quadrillions of these IPv6 ranges. It's like it went from a /32 is the most precise to a /128. It's like a factor of a factor of a factor. It's like an immense amount of space allocated to IPv6. So anyways, my point is that almost everything uses IPv6, except on Debian. There is a repository and an open source stuff, the way that code works, and this is why people like Linux a lot more than Windows, is that you don't download a .exe and run it to install a program. You just do apt-get whatever the fuck I want, and it downloads it from a repository. And there are many repositories, and they're managed by usually pretty big, serious organizations that take their job seriously and make sure that their packages work for the distributions that they're targeting. Except for PHP. PHP, the programming language that runs Zenforo that I use for my fucking website, is managed for Debian by Surrey.org, which is like one fucking faggot at the Czech Republic, a man who cannot stop sucking dick for a nanosecond, a guy who sits on like the board of the CZNIC for the top level domain CZ. This guy, a literal incarnation of the soy boy meme, like single-handedly manages the Surrey repository for PHP. And it doesn't use IPv6. So I leave a comment on this 4-year-old ticket on GitHub saying, why is there no IPv6 support? And the faggot is just like, Lamau, I don't want to use IPv6. And this is the only repository that does this. It is trivial. It is trivial to set up IPv6 support. They want you to use it. They'll throw it at you. They'll help you set it up. It's real fucking easy. So they really want you to use IPv6, but he's just like, nah, you know what? I don't feel like it, which is literally the case. He has a CDN, and the CDN has IPv6. All he has to do is plug the fucking IPs into his domain name server, and it has IPv6 support like fucking magic. It just works. Doesn't have it. So I leave a comment saying this is unacceptable. It is for God's sakes, it's 2022. The IPv6 standard has been out for a fucking decade. It would be in middle school right now if it was a person, okay? It's time to get IPv6 support working on your fucking package repository, because a lot of computers use it, and a lot of networks, especially in developing countries, have no option but to use it. So you have no excuse. From a woke standpoint, it makes sense. From a modern technological standpoint, it's absolutely necessary. And he replies to me, and he takes the quote, this is unacceptable, and goes, Lamau. And then some guy says, have you ever donated to Surrey? Have you ever given money to support the wonderful free source project that you use on a daily basis? Like, just fucking mushmouth at me. So I'm like, okay, motherfucker. I find his Bitcoin wallet, and I send him $250 in Bitcoin from the Kiwi Farms public address, which a bunch of fucking weirdos are stalking right now. So I gave that motherfucker money so that everyone would see that I gave him money. And I said, look, I just gave you money from the Kiwi Farms address just like you fucking liked. I want my IPv6 addresses to work. And then afterwards he's like, oh, you neo-Nazi murderer, you terrorist, I know of your PHP applications, this is unacceptable. And then Liz Dongon jumps in and says, sir, I have a list of all his IPs, you can block him. And then he's like, what trans group can I give this money to really piss off those Yahtzees? Who can I give this $250 to? I don't need it. I'll give it to the trans children. And then I assume that he's blocked my IPs, so I can't download PHP on fucking Debian, which means, chat, I'm going to have to add a proxy to my apt config so that I can download PHP through IPv4, because I'm assuming the dumb motherfucker hasn't figured out how to add a triple or a quadruple A record to his DNS yet, and download it secretly, smuggle that code into my Kiwi Farms so that my people can sneed. It's just crazy. It's nonsense. Lunatics run open source. And then on the flip side is that more and more often, I am researching something, I'm searching a problem, I'm searching a solution, I'm searching for a new open source project, and guess what I find? I find it in Chinese. I find an interesting idea executed and with documentation 100% in Chinese. And that is why, chat, this is a prime example of why I caution people not to just say, all them Chanks can do is steal from the white man. All them yellow bug men can do is steal and the accomplishments of the white man. And what's funny is that even the liberals do that. You say, hey, what about China? Don't you consider like China to be like a threat? And like, oh my god, like the fucking like thinky slant eyes like can't do anything that like Whitey can do. Like Whitey, like people, what, like our liberal democracy like makes the best open source code. And like, okay, I guess everyone is just agree that China is no fucking threat. Meanwhile, in the open source development department, we got trannies who can't figure out how to do IPv6 telling soy boys how to block my IP so I can't download PHP as if I can't just fucking use a proxy to get it anyways. And then in China, they're like actually building shit. They're using their communist state propaganda to proliferate the communist ideals and the mechanisms of free open source software. It's a terrible state of the world. I'm being serious about that. The writing is on the fucking walls. Them Chanks, they've stolen all they can steal from the white man, and now they're turning heel and digging in, and they're pointing our own guns back at us, and one day they'll have bigger and better bullets than our guns do. And they'll have better websites too. They'll have their own Cloudflare, and they won't suck any dick. Anyways, so there's this fat fuck. There's this fat retard. There's this dude, and he lives in Mexico, and his name is Ethan Ralph, and he is a fat fuck idiot, and he has moved his daughter and his wife, or not his wife, sorry, his fiance to to Mexico for whatever fucking reason, to own the A-logs, I guess, to not pay child support to see Xanda. And so now that he's moved to Mexico, I don't know what the fuck has triggered this, but my boy, of course, I've always been a big fan of America First. I really like Nick Fuentes. He's got some good takes on stuff, like, I don't know, women, Israel, the Republican Party. What else does he talk? Did he talk about anything else? Fortnite, and he has this to say about Ethan Ralph.
Oh man, that's funny. That was such a weird gay thing though, because the whole time I'm like, why does everyone hate this guy? What did he do? What's even and they're like, well, he's fat. I'm like, okay, but that's not a reason you hate someone. That's something you say about someone after you hate them. So what's the real? And they're like, well, he's like a scumbag. He like had this thing with his girlfriend. I'm like, seriously? Who cares about what he does with this? Seriously? There's no real answer. It's just I don't even get it. I don't know, some weird lore. Michael Alberto's got to get to the bottom of it. Can we get, I am authorizing the Alberto Commission. I'm passing a law. We're creating the Alberto Commission, and I am appointing him to get to the bottom of this. I am appointing Michael Alberto as the top prosecutor, the top investigator, and he's gonna author the Alberto Commission, and he's gonna owe us a report at the end of the next fiscal year, and we need to know how all this happened, because we don't know. We need to get to the bottom of it. I don't know. I still don't know. I don't know the lore. I don't know the drama. I don't know how all this happened. They were all friends at one point. Now they all are obsessed with Ralph and hate him. I don't know how that happened. I'm a Zoomer. So I'm appointing Alberto to lead a commission to investigate and deliver a final report and a decisive judgment on explaining what happened here, because nobody seems to give me a straight answer.
You can really see how the lack of the Kiwi Farms is a loss. to the world all over. Poor Nick Fuentes has no idea why people don't like Ethan Ralph. Now, there used to be a place where people could go and figure out why you didn't like somebody. But unfortunately, it's being DDoS attacked right now. And availability is extremely limited. So he has to leave it up to Michael Alberto, who, if you don't remember, was, and I don't blame you for not remembering this, it was the weird guy who tried to moderate the Nick Fuentes and Medicare discussion, and it was kind of awkward and weird. Just food for thought. That's it. There's a picture of what's her face, the horse, and she's out in Mexico, and it's obviously Mexico because it's like she's under a corrugated aluminum roof, and their clothes are hung up to dry by string. So Ethan Ralph is currently in a place where they don't have washing machines, or roofs, so they don't have ceilings. So I don't know why he chose like a hovel, and in the middle of Mexico, but whatever. I guess he's hiding from both baby mama data, and also the cartels called solar panel drone, whatever. Mexico isn't all fucking slums. Okay, well, where he's living apparently is, sir. I understand that if you go to the rich people areas of a really poor country, it will still be very nice. You can go to fucking Liberia, and you can go to like one of the resorts, and it will feel like you're in America still. It'll have like big fat American toilets and everything. But when you go outside of your resort, it'll be a fucking dump. Mexico isn't as bad as Liberia, but there is definitely what we would call a wealth discrepancy between the richest people there and the poorest people there. It's the trad lifestyles and no running water. Exactly. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, I'm not trying to speak badly of my Mexican listeners. Okay, I'm just explaining my perspective on this. There's a really weird thing where, see, I was under the impression, I'm gonna look at my DDoS in real time. I was under the impression that the reason why the DDoS attack was hitting Tor was because Tor uses 3 nodes that the front ends do not, and those 3 nodes are maxed out, but the other one is not. The 4th that I use is doing fine, but I think it just might be the other one is like really fast. So I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna fix this in real time. I'm gonna bump the weight up of that just a little bit, and I'm gonna see. Let's see what happens, chat. Set those to 30. Could be a mistake. Who knows, chat? And then after this, I'm gonna talk about Keffels just a little bit. Because they've not been having the greatest week. See, they made a mistake. They've declared me dead 8 times. So now if they continue to talk about me and continue to talk about the Kiwi Farms, people are going to be like, wait a second. I thought that website was dead. I thought you buried it. I thought we've already done the Victory Pride Parade like 8 times now. Why are we still talking about the dead website? And he'll either have to swallow his pride, which would be immense, and admit that he hasn't done shit. Because really, if you think about it, the only thing that we've lost so far is the .is domain, which we didn't use, and we have 8 million replacements for. And Cloudflare, which is a big loss, I'm not going to lie. But it's not the end of the world, you know what I mean? There's other things like, I don't know, I'm just saying that in terms of like the totality of what the Kiwi Farms is and all the moving parts that are involved in it, Cloudflare in and of itself is not such a big deal. Let's see. It's a really weird thing where when I restart HA proxy, it doesn't like to kill the old task correctly. Let's see if that works. Let's see if that works, and then if it doesn't work, I'm moving on. If it does work, I'm also moving on. So therefore, I'm committing to this. Interesting. It doesn't work. Actually, they turned it off. They literally just turned it off. What, are they turning it off so that I can't see if the results of what I'm doing are effective? What the fuck is that for? What's the point of that? Oh, you know what it is? I think it's one of those coin-operated rent-a-booters that you pay like $100 for like access for like a week to your booter. But the downside is that it only gives you like an hour of DDoS attack at a time. So when it runs out, you have to manually press the button again. Hey, retard, press the fucking button again. I'm trying to see if what I just applied worked. You have to go to your booter and then press start because it just turned off. I guess they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it at a protest now. Oh, fine. If you want me to DDoS you, I'm not going to do it. What an asshole. These people are the rudest. Push the Whopper button. Yeah, these people are the rudest fucking assholes. See what I deal with, chat? Okay, whatever then. I guess we're not going to get DDoS attacked while I'm actively looking at it. So, I made a joke a while ago that this was a comment left under the Ars Technica or Hacker or Y Combinator. I can't remember what website it was that had this post. Now, let me throw it up on screen. But basically, they say, I didn't know about this site until yesterday, referring to the Kiwi Farms. After reading the thread that got them taken down, I know one thing. I will not be letting my children near Discord. And I made a funny haha meme, which I'm pretty sure is like the most liked thing on Fediverse at this point, saying that it was all worth it, chat. It was all worth it. One child will not be exposed to Discord. We've saved the life of one child. It was literally all worth it. However, I can add to this. I can be doubly sure it was all worth it because... okay, so this is the statement. This is Bob Posting. If you don't know, Bob Posting is the Asian groomer who ran the DIY HRT directory. And on the 20th of September, so 10 days ago, Bob Posting made this statement. Recently, I have received a significant ramp up in the harassment I've been facing. The situation has escalated beyond what I'm able to deal with. I will be shutting down my Twitter and I will no longer be involved in the DIY HRT directory. Me and the current team and I know they're ching chong ding dong, but come on now. You've been living in Canada your entire life. Me and the current team of people who have developed it so far will no longer be contributing in any capacity to the site. Ownership of the site will be transferred to the new owner within the next few days, which sounds like bullshit, to be honest. It sounds like they still run it, but they're just lying. As a result, we have talked to Keffels and our teams have made an agreement to end her sponsorship of the DIY HRT directory. This Twitter account will be wiped and privated within the next few days, so my username cannot be taken. I will no longer be active on any social media platforms. This post isn't to garner sympathy, nor am I seeking anything from you. I'm just clearing up these few things before I go offline so people will know what's going on. On a final note, just to be clear, Keffels has never had any say in the development of the site. Besides the design of the sponsorship banner and how it would be run. Any changes made to the site were decisions made by our team only. So, after all this huff and puff, and just to re-clarify, this is from Keffels, I am donating thousands of dollars a year to a resource so people affected by hysterical anti-trans laws can access hormone replacement therapy before the age of 18. I do not give a single shit what you think. I am doing nothing wrong, nor will I ever back down. And then recently, I think the same day as this, Keffels announced that they would not be sponsoring the DIY HRT directory anymore. Because, if you don't know, this website was a way to basically instructing children how to explicitly, not even like, oh, this is what they're doing, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. No, it's literally, hey, kids, you want to buy HRT? You want to buy it from Brazil in the mail discreetly without your parents knowing? Well, don't use their credit cards. Here's how you buy cryptocurrency to buy drugs from Brazil that you inject directly into your muscles so that you can become a tranny. Literally, almost word for word from their website. This was the crowning achievement of Keffels, was supporting this fucking directory. And it was basically the only way that it was if you read the thing from Bob Posting, that's like their entire life is like bragging about how many children they help get on HRT every fucking day. And I made a comment in reply to this saying, sending this pedophile freak into hiding and drawing fire and police attention to the grooming hub made this all this bullshit worth it. There's going to be fewer teenagers with needles in their arms trying to fix normal teen depression with hormones at the advice of this menace. That is a calculable objective good. And I stand by that. I am very pleased by this. I mean, my site's been fucking down for 2 weeks, so if they're going to blame me for any harassment, I don't know how the fuck they're going to pull it off. They managed, like, people don't like this. People do not like creepy, weird sex perverts in drag actively trying to get children to inject drugs into their muscles so that they can irreparably cause harm to their physiological health. That's it. And it's all, like, here's caps from 4chan and shit. Like, people just hate you. They hate you because you're disgusting and you're a fucking pervert and you probably want to fuck kids. In case you're wondering, this was famous, by the way. Oh geez, my site's down again. Did it start up now? Oh, now it starts up. It's a little bit better, but not. Actually, you know what? I bet you I can. Just as a cheeky little hack, I can change it real quick. Does that work? If it doesn't work, I want to show people the brand name of this HRT was Otoko Noko, which apparently is like a Japanese fetish thing. I think it means daughter, son. So it's basically like femboy, the Japanese version, but femboy is just boy in Japanese. So they call it daughter, son. But the branding, as you can see, is like is like visible lolicon shit. So it was like it's just so weird and fetishistic. And there's even, you can see the hand of the person holding it down here. This appears to be the guy that runs the Otoko Noko Pharmaceuticals. And I think that what they're advertising here, and this is clearly like a Brazilian man's hand with like nail polish and shit. It's pretty fucking gnarly. But it's called like skincare oil. So this is like an intravenous bottle of hormones that's disguised as skincare oil so that your parents won't find it in your room. It's like, I don't know how you can look at this and say anything except that this is like grooming. This is trying to get kids to take drugs for their stream. Or for their fetish. The other interesting thing about this was that now people are really, because obviously it's not going away, right? So Bob Posting, one less tranny fucking pedophile is not actively involved in publicly bragging about how actively involved they are about sending drugs to children. That doesn't mean that Otoko Noko is down or this fucking weird Brazilian tranny is dead or whatever. So people are looking into the distribution line of it. And of course, the drugs are being manufactured in China. So we have literal people who speak Chinese. I don't know what you would call those. Probably Chinese people. Calling up the sources of estrogen in China and overseas development places, asking about what their supply looks like. And we don't know exactly what their supplier is from what I understand, but these people have found out that the composition of their estrogen that they're selling is something like 98% estradiol, but 2% benazine, 2 to 3% benzyl alcohol. I think I'm gonna say this wrong, but Actually, it might be my post chat. But from what I understand, this additive that they have, which would be filtered out correctly in like a actual medical environment, is a carcinogen. So they're like a serious carcinogen. So they're not just like injecting estrogen, which also increases cancer risk. They're injecting this byproduct that exists within the vial, and that is also itself a serious carcinogen. Extremely, extremely cancerous, says Sneeder. Benzene. That means gasoline in German. I know this because there's a Rammstein song called Benzene. Benzene. You probably don't want to inject gasoline into your veins either, because that shit's expensive. You don't want to waste it by injecting gasoline into your veins, because it's at a premium right now in Europe. If you're speaking German, you definitely wouldn't be wasting no benzene. Let's see. Rammstein is gay. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They're too fashy looking, so they have to suck dick every so often so that Germany doesn't execute them for being neo-Nazis. It's an unfortunate byproduct of denazification and saving the world from Hitler or whatever the fuck. Oh, speaking of, that woman won in Italy, and everyone's calling her a fascist because she loves Israel and the Jewish people and wants to send billions of dollars to Ukraine or whatever the fuck, which were, you know, when the Nazis rose to power, that was their big thing. If you don't know, Hitler was a huge proponent of Zionism. He wanted to create a Jewish state in Madagascar and let all the Jews live there all freely and peacefully. That's a cornerstone of National Socialism and fascism. Because if you don't know, Mussolini didn't really like National Socialism. He liked fascism, but that's autistic. So someone says, Alana Mastrolangelo says, calling her Mussolini because she's Italian is racist. To which Keffels replies in this now deleted tweet, I have always wanted Horatio Mussolini. To which Keffels also replies, assuming that because their last name is Sorrenti, this means that they're allowed to like be racist against Italians on like Twitter. I mean, you can be racist against Italians. Don't get me wrong. As someone who is like 25% Italian, I'm called the N-word constantly by Dynastia, who insist that Italians are POCs. So, I mean, this is doubly risky because Keffels is being racist to a POC. But they deleted this because they got called racist. Hold up. I have to show you this video. I've played this before on stream, but now I have to.
On Ocean Road, a Muslim tries to escape a crowd of Africans by running out into the sea. When the crowd overtakes him, he is drowned. The Africans feel that the Arabs now exploit them as pitilessly as the whites used to. Because of this, they demolish Arab shops and houses. Dozens of Arabs have put to the wall. Someone has killed 3 mutineers, so now there must be a reprisal. But we're not welcome at the execution. They scream at us and threaten us with machine guns. When we stall to get some good shots, one of the soldiers loses his temper. One of us is cut by the flying glass, but there's no question of treatment. The mutineers jerk us out of our car and haul us to the wall. They're about to execute us when a rebel officer sees one of our passports and shouts, "Wait, these aren't whites. They're Italians."
And that's why I get to say nigga, because I'm 25% nigga, and if that's good enough for Rachel Dolezal or whatever the fuck, it's good enough for me. Oh jeez, autoplay is on. Fuck off. Dating beyond borders. Truth or myth? Italians react to stereotypes. Fascinating, YouTube. I'm so glad you decided to play this on my computer without my permission. Really fascinating. I mean, if those motherfuckers think that I'm black, then I'm black, as far as I'm concerned. POC, motherfucker. Big snood. I meant to play this when I was talking about how they failed to ratio Mussolini, and so I was gonna put up a picture of Mussolini and play this. Where is it? Here we go. Yeah. Big Head wins again, boys. Italy can't stop winning. Racking up the W's for days, boys. I've never heard the Italian fascist song before. No, this isn't the fascist one. That says Italian Socialist Republic. That was the fucking Civil War side. Oh, this is not right. Italian fascist anthem. What was it? What was the anthem during the... No, it was the fascist one. Oh, the Italian Social Republic was the puppet state by Hitler, right? That was that, but Italy. Okay, whatever. I don't know. I don't know anything about Italy. Fuck Italy. They used to be important, but now they're not. That's all I know about Italy. And they make nice pizza. Everyone likes their food, and nobody hates Italians except for Keffels for some reason. Very sad, chat. It's called Facetta Nera. No, it's not. I know that Nera means black in Italian. What? Marching song of Kingdom of Italy. Wow, this sounds inappropriate. It sounds like carnival music. Doesn't it sound like carnival music? Interesting. That's your history lesson for the day, chat. Don't hate your heritage, Josh. Trust me. Okay, I got it. Okay, I played it. We're done. It's wait. It's not this song. Wait, you need to see that this is like the most like greasy, perverted music video of all time. So I need to actually play it. This is why I thought that Nero meant black, because I know that Vedo Nero means black or something. Look, I don't know anything about Italians. Okay, I don't know anything. I'm done. I'm rambling at this point. I need to fix my fucking site because it's being DDoS attacked. I'm delaying work that actually matters, chat. That's the reality. Let's get the super chats up and bash through them. So I'm putting. Did I miss anything? Did I fail to mention something super important that I'm gonna be yelled at in the comments if I don't talk about? Get it out of your system right now, because we're moving on. They don't look white to me. I don't know what happened with Nick. Oh, he got banned. Yeah, he got banned. He got like 2 strikes, then he got banned from Twitter. Facetta Nera means small black place. It's about Italians going to Orisha, Somalia to bleach local women and colonize them. Okay. That was right. Vordrak's forged police letter. Oh, someone posted a stupid letter saying, "Hello, this is the British police and you're under arrest for being on Kiwi farms." And it's bullshit. But Vordrak doesn't give a fuck. Do I make pizza at home? Very rarely. Only when I'm feeling crafty. Feeling like cooking something crazy. Elon Musk, I have no idea. The Fetty Odyssey marriage, Graf and the guy from Julian, Moloch and Graf are in talks. Graf is currently mad at me because on the KiwiFarms.cc, which has been down for like a month now, there's like a emoji that's a picture of someone's nose, and that's like the nose of some Jew woman that's married to a popular Fediverse poster. And he says that's doxing, so he's going to defederate the KiwiFarms.cc over it, apparently. So that's the update on... Oh, and Randbot's mad at me because somebody pretending to be me made fun of his son for being dead or something, and he just like took the bait for it. I think it was Britbong, actually. Speaking of Britbong, he sent a complaint to one of my hosts. Here, I'll read it for you guys. Hold up. He's very angry at us still. I don't know why. Or the only reason why he's relevant, really. This is from Dominic Vanner from Vanner UK at googlemail.com. I have endured years of harassment. I have to say this like can I do a British? I have endured years of harassment and stalking at the hands of Kiwi Farms, and my address being swatted to false pedophile allegations, to my underage nephew being posted on the forums, and rape threats posted, and the owner refusing to remove it. Remove it. They don't pronounce the T's. I don't know. I'm tired. Okay. Why are you not removing them? They clearly criminally harassing people, he says. And then he goes on post and he makes fun of Rand Butt's son, says he's dead. And then Rand Butt falls for it. And he gets mad at me. Good times. I'll miss the site if it ever gets destroyed by trannies. This is very funny. Okay. Let's catch up on things, shall we? We're now in the chill mode, chat. I gotta go. I gotta fix shit. Okay. Anonymous for 2. I'll have a drink. Wait, I'm having a drink, and this is from the 18th. I'm having a drink. If you were here, I'd offer you one. Here's the money for the drink, friend. $2 is not enough for a beer, I'm pretty sure, but thank you very much, Anonymous. On the 21st, thank you for 25 says, I've seen your posts. I'll support you in any way I can. The last person standing for free speech and selfless sacrifice, and it's rewarded. Thank you very much. I appreciate people getting super chats and all the options available. A turf for $28.95 says, Dear Josh, thank you for everything you do. You're very appreciated. Lots of love from Turf Island XX. Thank you, British woman. I appreciate it. For a spicy, this is from the 27th. For a spicy doner kebab at for $5 says, hope you have a nice kebab place nearby. I have many different Turkish options available. Though you always eat like a doner and then you get like greasy feeling because it's so greasy. Monkey Hater 46 says, Joshua Potter, we heard what you said on your last podcast, and as a representative of the monkey hating community, I hereby inform you that we declared a fatwa on you, or as we like to call it, a chempwa. Okay. Some bastard for 11 says, hey, I know it sounds kind of gay, but the way you just keep doing your own thing despite the shit that's thrown at you has been genuinely inspiring for me. Wishing you good fortune and a smooth sailing. Thank you very much. I'm glad that I've somehow inspired people to keep doing what they want to do. You'd be self-motivated. That's very important. Because external motivation tends to wane pretty fast. Dandy for 20 says, hi, Richard. Josh, I took a couple weeks off the internet and came back to .NET and the Onion being back up. Thank you for all your hard work. Also, patches soon. Big ups, Liquid Moon. Okay, so now that things are kind of working, there's obviously more work to be doing because they're still able to bring the site down through their very, very trivial DDoS shit. However, once I get that more sorted, I'm going to start turning heel and protecting other services, like getting the Maddie.live, madtheinternet.com site back up, and then I can start selling patches. Pseudo for 5 says, shout out to Josh, the chat and Telegram gang. Glad to have you back. Thank you, Pseudo. Interrobang for 483 says, do you even get a doner kebab for €5 down in Serbia? Yeah, food can be real fucking cheap in Eastern Europe. Serbia is a little bit more expensive than Ukraine, though. It's more developed. Never Forget for 1 says, are we sure that Ralph didn't go to Mexico for the donkey show? I'm sure May would like to see top billing. P.S. Remember when you told Ralph not to go to Mexico because the cartel would kill him? I do remember that. I don't know. May doesn't seem like the donkey type. She likes other things that I will abstain from mentioning for right now because I'm feeling generous. I'm not feeling too mean. Toilet Duck for 4 says, PPP and Worski made a goofball home video out in the backyard for videos like a couple of rascals and Ralph goes ballistic. I did see that. PPP went to Ralph's home in Mississippi, which means that he's definitely vaccinated because he's traveling to the United States, and you can't do that unless you're vaccinated. But yeah, I imagine Ralph will get pretty pissed off at that because he likes to get. He's in Mexico and his land is undefended, and people are going there and making fun of him for being a fat retard. Finkeltard for $100 says, big shout out to Prehistoric Jazz and Zyklon PD. Looking forward to George getting chat back so I can spam fart over and over again to you gentlemen again. God, the chat is lower on my to-do list because I don't just want to fix the issue that caused the XSS exploit. I want to fix it in such a way that no matter how badly busted it is, it cannot leak credentials again, which means finding a different mechanism for authentication besides the CRF token and moving it to its own domain. So that has to wait. 3 for 4 for 5 for 5 says your pronunciation of cache is atrocious. It's called the Australian pronunciation. I know most people call it cash, but in Australia, where my first tech job was, it was pronounced cache, and I prefer that. So take too fucking bad. Anonymous for 20 says, I trained an AI to talk like Christian. I would be honored if you gave it a try. I sent the link to your Proton Mail email because it's only guaranteed to work with one user at a time. Okay, let's see this. Okay, I have typed my message. I'm waiting. Hopefully I didn't. I pressed it twice. I might have fucked it up already. Maybe my message was too long, and I've fucked it up. It says up to 50 seconds. I don't think what I wrote is more than 50 seconds, chat. My interest is, how do you extract audio of Chris talking? Because his audio is so fucking bad. It's always him like with a PlayStation webcam or like an old 2000s webcam. It's just the worst recording ever. Okay, I have pressed the submit button. And should I ever receive a reply, it will play. But I will move on for now. I've got it going in the background. We'll see. Jew on the Moon for 5 says, is homosexuality part of nihilism? I have a theory that homos that say they weren't groomed physically as youngsters are at the very least groomed by pornography that stimulates nihilistic thoughts. I think that the kind of homosexuality that's like very feminine is just like gay men that covet being coveted by straight men. They want to be fucked by straight men. I guess you're talking about like root causes. I'm not too sure. I'm sure that there are people who are just quote unquote born gay, particularly what is the theory that the youngest boy of several boys by the same mother is more likely to be feminized because each boy is more attacked by the female body and because they don't recognize the testosterone or something. I'm sure things are multifaceted, which is why it's difficult to paint everything with a broad brush. But in general, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that most gays have like a developmental issue. I think it's like a combination of two things, nature and nurture. I've never believed that gay was entirely nature and not entirely nurture, because people exposed to the same problems don't all become gay. And you have cases where identical twins have one twin become gay and the other twin become not gay. And it's like a 50-50 split that if an identical twin, if one turns gay, the other does not. So if it was purely nature, it would be closer to 100%. If it was purely nurture, then it would be closer to the average of like 13% or whatever, right? This is supposed to be his voice, right? It didn't give me his voice. It finished, but it didn't give me his voice. Oh, I'll just make it very short. Okay, this one's like one sentence. Anyways, Anonymous for 5 says, I guess Internet Juche isn't dead after all. Well, despite my best efforts, it's not. Near for 2 says, you're a legend, mate, not needing permission from Matthew Prince's cucked investors. Keep up the good work. I'd give you more if I wasn't dealing with furnishing my own place. Yeah, well, that's usually the story. Like I said, it's not just like I don't need individuals support. I need like credit card processing. I'm really curious to see how FedNow plays out. I'm wondering if once FedNow is done, I can just like do business like a normal person. I wonder if that's their goal, is like, can we prevent a civil war by just having like a payment processor that works? But I don't want to hold my breath and suffocate. Striga for 250 says, hi Josh, glad to see you back. I'm hunting for Polonia again next week. Let's hope the Jewish postman won't smell it this time. That was another one that got turned around. God, what the fuck is... I got a coin in the mail, and I think I forwarded it to me, and I don't know if it ever got here. Maybe it's still in the way. That remailer sucks, and they're so expensive. Kindle Clubbers for 10 says, Josh, any updates on patches and how to send you B-Day silver? Also don't want the silver marked as something specific to avoid import taxes like the Jew you are. You rock. Thank you for your efforts. Obviously, I'm still trying to figure out a way to forward fucking mail to myself. Though you should mark it at if it's like U.S. currency, you should mark it at the value of the currency. And they can't even say anything about that. You can have thousands of dollars of silver, but if it's all like American half dollars, you can just say, oh, it's $200 of coins. It's worth $200 because this is extant U.S. currency. What are you going to do? You know, say that silver has value that is implicit besides the face value of the coin? You can't do that. Karyuma for 50 says, love hearing you talk about internet infrastructure and your adventures as a sysadmin. Thank you so much for being hardworking and stubborn. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoy my rambling. If you enjoy me rambling about tech stuff while eating hamburgers, that's on the Gumroad. IWTCIRD for $100 says, happy pizza day. Have a good Friday. Thank you very much. Pizza day is on Sunday, as I've mentioned before. But today is a good day. I think that this message just generates without his voice, because it says voice, but it's not like generating a message. Like I typed in Ethan Ralph, it's me, Gator, and it has a block of text saying, and then I'm making this video onto YouTube account. You have a lot of people in person, is the internet, and you are able to make it. MKR 1121089 Aqua Diamond 8 Sonichu and Quickfill. It's just like nonsense. It's all like Chris related stuff. I was expecting it to be like a voice synthesizer, though. I'm a little bit disappointed. Good luck on your machine learning adventures, though. Mad Clock Professor says, hey Josh, just want to say I'm glad you're back. My cat Cooper was purposefully ran over a few weeks ago and has a broken pelvis, and I'm hoping for a shout out in prayer group. Also, fuck Pitotrans. Oh my god, I'm getting the pet things. I have had a cat that was hit by a car and their pelvis was broken. They went to the vet and the vet said they'd be fine, and then they died, and it was very sad. But my cat was stupid. It was a black cat and it loved to sleep on the asphalt where it was nice and warm, and we knew that it would get hit by the fucking car eventually because she would never... It's a black cat. It would sleep on the road at night. Obviously it was going to get hit eventually. So thoughts and prayers for your cat, my friend, even though it's very awkward to say. Sorry about my cat. Oh, IPv6 Chad also says for $1, my cat Duncan McCockiner is sick. Shout out and prayers, please. Shout outs and prayers for Duncan McCockiner. Glep for 2 says, my power's been out, so I haven't been able to finish this, but here's what I got. Thank you all for your hard work, Josh. Glep is an artiste. Ooh, this is quite good. I like all your stuff. I'll even take it out of shill mode for a second. Transform, fit screen. There we go. Isn't it lovely, chat? She's done a few. I like there's. Oh, it has a declination thing. That's great. So many details. Medicare is back there being pecked to death by aggressive Kiwis. Oh, and the silver. That's the most important detail. Okay, thank you. Never forget for one says, did you hear Kino Casino's take on the attack on the farms? All I heard about that was that PPP says they stored they stored the passwords in plain text. They stored the passwords in plain text, and the reason why he thinks that is because Keffel said that. So PPP, knowing nothing, like openly parrots Keffels because it's just like, haha, and own on the Kiwi farms and that darn Josh Moon that I will use against him. If it's correct, who cares? I'm just gonna say it anyways because that's how I do. I don't know. That's PPP's thing. He just says whatever the fuck and hopes it sticks, hopes it causes problems. If 2 or 3 people ask me about why PPP says I store things in plain text, even those Zinforo bcrypts, and I can't turn that off because it's Zinforo core functionality. I couldn't make it plain text if I fucking wanted to. Doesn't matter. It's just a matter of causing me issues. Shine for 2 says, for 5 says, Josh, thank you for your tireless hard work in getting the forum back up. Your dedication is truly admirable. Also, I'm an annoying cow asking about the patches, merch is shipping to Australia. LOL, heart emoji. Shipping to Australia will be expensive. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm sorry you live on a fucking island in the middle of nowhere. That's just how it do be. And Shine for 2 says, it's my birthday today and I couldn't be happier that you're streaming, Josh. Well, happy birthday, my friend. I'm glad that I am somehow your thing to listen to on your birthday. I hope it's worth it. Anime for 5 says, definitely proven that trannies are a Chinese plot. Animes have been vindicated. Animes are never vindicated ever. I just noticed that there's a piss bear thing in the background. I'm not happy about that. I fucking hate that emote. It's so annoying. It's so like weird and like it just how it like opens its mouth so suddenly. It's like scary and unnerving and unnatural looking. No, fuck anime. I'm mean for 5. Or I am mean for 5 says, hope you're doing well with all the shit that's going your way. We all want to see you succeed. Ralph lost, Keffel dilated, Boogie still somehow lives. What's your favorite Pokemon though? I've answered this before. I said Pupitar from Generation 2. I liked the Pupitar evolutions. Because I thought it was interesting how the game is over, but you're still finding like these little Pokemon at the end, right before you battle Red and Gold, Silver. That's always stuck out to me for some reason. That discovery, like, wait, there's like this cool thing at the very end of the game that's really strong, and it's like you can only find it in a de-evolved state, and then you like breed it. And you make little Pupitars, and then you hand them out to all your friends who just got the game. Like, here, I'll give you this as like a starter Pokemon, and then they have a Tyranitar as like their starter Pokemon. Actually, I think I even traded those for like Bulbasaur and not Bulbasaur, but the other ones. Traded for their starters for the Pupitar. Anna Purna for 10 says, keep on operating, dear Sneeder. Hope the rest of your day is comfy. It's almost orange theme time. Oh my fucking, tomorrow is October. I'm so excited. It's the best month of the year. You bet my fucking site's gonna stay up. Through blood and fire, chat, I will keep my fucking site up through October. Mark my words. I don't give a shit if they... I don't want to say that. That's violent. I'm keeping it up. Make no mistake. Spare no expense, chat. Kozak for 15 says, it's fair to want to separate grievances from gotchas when it comes to Ralph. My basic summary would be his habit of paranoid falling out with everyone he talked to. I never liked the guy forever. I mean, look, my thing with Nick Fuentes and his whole, like, we need the Alberto Commission to figure out what's wrong with Ralph. All he's doing, I guarantee you, he knows what's wrong with Ralph. He wanted Ralph as a pet retard on his platform to get more eyes on his streamers there. Fair play. Dangerous play. It's like, I need to warm my house. Why don't I put a burning log in the middle of my living room? That can't go wrong. And now, of course, there's a little fire. Little Timmy got cooked alive because the fire got a little bit out of hand. And now he's going to have his friend Alberto, the fire commissioner, do a report on what started the fire. And Alberto is going to come back and says, well, gosh, I don't know what could have started the fire. It seems to be a freak accident. Little Timmy self-immolated. This really is a divine intervention. There's no other explanation. You're completely blameless in this house fire that burned little Timmy. And it's just his way of saying, like, oh, I'm absolving responsibility. I couldn't have known. I wanted to give Ralph a fair shake, yada, yada. But everyone told him, this is the biggest, fattest fucking retard. And by the way, Ralph knows that his days on Cozy are numbered because he's already found 2 backup platforms. When he left Odyssey because he got a DMCA strike for being a fat retard, he moved to Cozy and just said, I'm keeping Cozy. And he stayed that way for months. And now, all of a sudden, Nick Fuentes saying, Alberto, you have to look into why little Timmy just got eaten by a hog down in a bog. Ralph's like, I'm going to spread out a little bit. I'm going to try these other 2 backup streaming sites. I'm gonna put my cards on different tables now. It's like, I wonder why, Ralph. Could it be that you can smell what the Nick has cooking for you? Because nobody can fucking stand you for any length of time. Ruggy for 5 says, I used to disagree with your stance on Japan, but today I saw an anime movie trailer where a teenage girl falls in love with an older man who turns into a chair. I am now convinced that we need to nuke it. Well, we did nuke it. That's why. What, you think it was a mistake? We didn't know what we were doing? We nuked it for a reason. We set anime back 100 years, and now it's catching back up to us. We have to nuke it again. We have to, trim the anime down like weeds. Salith for 5 says, hey Josh, have you heard of OpenBSD? It's like free BSD, but made by schizos. Wow, what a pitch. I have heard of OpenBSD. I've heard of Firefly BSD, which apparently is used by routers and stuff. I don't know the differences. I'm just kind of playing around with the ecosystem. I find FreeBSD very cozy. I like the way that the commands run. I like its environment. I like FreeBSD, and I think it's very efficient and very safe. Because I remember when they got hit by those issues. What was it? It was the 2 big processing, like Meltdown and Spectre, I think they were called. And FreeBSD wasn't affected by that at all because they had very intelligently written their kernel. So I think that my experiences with FreeBSD have all been excellent. It's just a matter of not too many things support it, and that's a good thing. If it was a huge, massive project, it would be a sprawling nightmare like Linux shit is. But FreeBSD is nice and comfy cozy. And I'm sure that will be ruined in the next 10 years because I just said that. B-Jams for 10 says, hi Josh, now that September's done with, over, here's hoping that October will be a comfy month this year. Oh, you fucking bet. You fucking bet that October is going to be comfy. I will see to it. Anonymous for 2 says, it's text only, Josh. It's a predictive algorithm. I deleted the queue now. It should work. Well, I thought it was going to be a voice. That's what got me excited. It's not very refined. Because it's like it's mostly like a logical non sequitur, which I'm sure it's just like you take your open source protocol and you jam in like the transcripts from the quickie into it to build up the machine learning protocol, and then that's just how it works, and that's not your fault. Good job training it and stuff. ML is the way to go if you want to make a lot of money, because it's like the cloud. The government is like, we need to boost our spending in the cloud. We need some of this cloud that they're talking about. We got to have more cloud than the Chinese and the Russians do for our Department of Defense. And then Jeff Bezos is like, sure, I'll sell you a cloud for $1 billion a month. And they're like, sign me up. Give me the paperwork. I'll buy that for $1 billion a month. And it'll be like that with machine learning. We need more ML. In China, they're using ML to spy on all the people. We have to use ML to spy on people too, so we don't fall behind China. And then Jeff Bezos will be like, hey, we can sell you ML for $2 billion a month. I'm like, give me that paperwork right now. I'll sign it today. That's the United States in a nutshell. Shoot and Choose for $20 says in. I don't know what he could be saying. Could be anything. And Colia Dante for 25 says, I'm surprised how quiet most of my cows have been during the downtime. Poor guys must have been lonely without the attention. Isn't that true? We are the reason they wake up in the morning. Some people just can't get out of bed unless they're angry. Okay. I'm done. I'm sorry if this has been a quick stream. I got shit to do. I might, however, tomorrow. No promises. However, if I can, tomorrow, I would like to play Dead by Daylight and stream it. No promises. No idea if that's going to happen. I'll try my best. No promises. Dead by Daylight tomorrow. And I'll do it on the Matt the Internet YouTube channel too, just because I can. All right. That is that. I have fucked up. I do not have an outro song picked out. Let's see. I have some options. I do have my music playlist. I can, when I'm desperate for a song that I don't have one picked out. You know what? I put this on the. Oh, did I play? Okay, remind me. Did I play the latest Matt Jarbo? I didn't. I'll play. That's what I'll play. Shout out to Matt MC Jarbo, mcjarbo.com. Great guy, makes music. He did usually like he does his MC Jarbo thing where he just like raps in his own style, and usually those aren't that great. sorry to disappoint. This one is I like it. This is by Jarbo the Hutt, MC Jarbo, and it's just him rapping. It's kind of there's quite a few rap songs that are like in this vein of like actual counterculture, not like gay niggas with sagging pants and gold chains and shit. Actual counterculture like in the 90s. So I like it. I'm gonna play it. It's BAN, bitch ass niggas, which I can say because I'm Italian. I will see you guys tomorrow, maybe, probably not, and next Friday. Bye bye.
Is about as treacherous as Dennis the Menace. Is how we let these fucking peasants go and peddle their fetishes on our little kids. If we manage to settle this it when we on no internet where they ban us and banish us, the truth ministers decide when you get to speak and who listens, and if you don't go to their beat, buddy, then you finished, vanished, flipping them digits. I do my due diligence, but I need 22 minutes just to get my true feelings to the pencil and the pad. During any invasion our ancestors attacked, how the fuck is it all we can do is sit there and clap and watch these motherfuckers that's feeding our kids all this crap, fixing to fix up a mix of HRT in the bath? How the fuck you defending what's patently an attack? Tricking them, picking at you until the victim is had. You think 10 or 11-year-olds even know how to act? Packaging up a tragic act and you're passing it back. R.I.P. to anyone who couldn't handle the flack. And all the stalking and doxing, man, you bitches is whack. But if you swatting, then you need a fucking shiv in your back. But let's not try to act like that's only where it's at, and that's your only motive, and you got no reason to blank all of the internet. So let me be frank, denial of service is denial of the pictures attached. I got a right to have views, I have a right to defend. It's my right to defend against bitch ass niggas. Draw a line in the sand and bring life to the pen, cause we gon' fight to the end with you bitch ass niggas. And if you tell us you're not allowed to get in, then you can ban us again like some bitch ass niggas. Cause when I pray I look around me for strength, but nowadays I see nothing but bitch ass niggas. A nemesis you don't really wanna go head to head against. Going out of my mind, been a while up on my medicine. You stand for trans rights, do it with etiquette. You invented some lies, and I don't make you no Edison. And don't underestimate the love of a dad when you're in bed. Post up and he's there holding your hand. You got your ass Botox. Open the trench, you got yourself a post box. Now the mail can fit in. I'm the dad trying to keep his kids away from the sin. You in my shop and you didn't use a lot to get in. Go and suck a cock. You and your journalist friends just trying to get this wick lit and make it burn at both ends. Respect should be earned, it ain't just to be given. You don't respect my work, I don't respect you as women. And I ain't mad at you, no, but with the attitude, rude, why should I pick a pronoun that matches you, dude? And the devil's one, looks like careful's one. I drop kick that motherfucker in my Air Force One. That ain't no way to be treating a woman careful, son. I'm looking around this bitch like, yo, show me where there's one. We're talking severed appendages, mystic percentages that you can't even mention. It's like the shit is contagious. And I'm sorry you don't see it, but the dude's an embarrassment. And his destiny is just to get sued for damages. I got a right to have views, I have a right to defend. It's my right to defend against bitch ass niggas. Draw a line in the sand and bring life to the pen, cause we gon' fight to the end with you bitch ass niggas. And if you tell us we're not allowed to get in, then you can ban us again like some bitch ass niggas. Cause when I pray I look around me for strength, but nowadays I see nothing but bitch ass niggas. I got a right to have views, I have a right to defend. It's my right to defend against bitch ass niggas. Draw a line in the sand and bring life to the pen, cause we gon' fight to the end with you bitch ass niggas. And if you tell us we're not allowed to get in, then you can ban us again like some bitch ass niggas. Cause when I pray I look around me for strength, but nowadays I see nothing but bitch ass niggas. Nothing but fucking bitches. Take back what's yours.